Welcome to our video again, where we're going to explore about the 5 unique characteristics and privileges on the countries Guatemala, Philippines, Angola, and Ukraine, and including also their ethics consideration. Each country has differences in terms of characteristics and privileges, including their ethics consideration that shape their culture. And I think it's time for us to know that. Are you ready? Let's go! This is Shahani G. Flores, your multicultural presenter. Number 1, how does the people in Guatemala, Philippines, Angola, and Ukraine greet one another? In Guatemala, they typically greet one another through handshake and also hug and kisses when you are close friends or families. They also say Buenos dias means good morning. Buenas tardes means good afternoon, and Buenas noches means good evening and good night. In Philippines, when greeting a stranger, a soft handshake will do for men. And as for women, you can smile and you can have a hand wave for them. And if you are a close friends and family, hugs or kisses will do, and you can have a handshake with a pat on the back. And as for female, it is also common for them to hug and kiss to greet one another. In Angola, it is very important to remember that greeting should not be rushed. Always remember that the common greetings thing to do in Angola is through handshake, and you can do hugs and kisses if you are close friends or family. In Ukraine, handshake is also common, and for men, they embrace one another and with a pat on the back. And for women, they will exchange 3 kisses alternating to greet one another. Number 2, how does the people in Guatemala, Philippines, Angola, and Ukraine show respect for their elders? Addressing them with formal titles, in Guatemala, elders and authority figures are often addressed with formal titles such as Don for men and Doña for women. Pagmamano is a Filipino gesture often done by young people to the elders as a sign of respect. That is done by gently striking the elder's right hand to the young's forehead. Usually, especially in the provinces, the elder will say, "Kaawaan ka ng Diyos." It means, "May God have mercy on you." In Angola, always greet elders first. It is also customary to bow when introduced to someone who is obviously older or has a more senior position. In rural areas, women do not look the other person in the eye, although this practice is less pronounced with younger Angolians and in Luanda. In Ukraine, it is polite to offer one seat to an elderly person, pregnant women, or children in public spaces. It is respectful to assist older people using transport. Ukrainians may offer their hands to help an elderly person to get out of their seat, offer an arm for them to walk, and hold or open doors for them. Number 3, what is the general attitude toward time and punctuality in Guatemala, Philippines, Angola, and Ukraine? In Guatemala, time and punctuality are generally treated with a more relaxed attitude than in other culture. While it is important to be on time for appointments and greetings, being a few minutes late is not considered as much as an issue. And it is more formal or business settings, being on time is expected and considered a sign of respect and professionalism. In Philippines, Filipinos have a relaxed approach towards timekeeping and punctuality. It is common for Filipinos to arrive an hour or 2 hours after the designated time. It is commonly referred to as Filipino time. In Angola, Angolians people are considered as African people. African time or Africa time is the perceived cultural tendency in parts of Africa and the Caribbean toward a more relaxed attitude to time. It is sometimes used in pejorative sense about tardiness in appointments, meetings, and events that is same in Philippines and Guatemala. In Ukraine, Ukrainians prioritize people and conversation and therefore have a relaxed approach to time, but are very punctual. Ukrainians like to follow up on invitations to meet soon, often the same or following day. So same with the country Guatemala, Philippines, and Angola. Number 4. Is it acceptable to haggle or negotiate prices while shopping in markets or stores in Guatemala, Philippines, Angola, and Ukraine? In Guatemala, it's a yes. It is common to haggle or negotiate prices while shopping. Bargaining is common practice and expected by vendors, especially in markets and smaller shops. However, it is important to be respectful and polite while negotiating and not to be overly aggressive or pushy. In Philippines, it is about not wanting to look economically challenged when you politely negotiate for a lower price. Either way, the haggling culture in the Philippines is normal, prevalent, and has nothing to feel embarrassed about. With the right approach, following with these negotiation tactics will save you to ample time and money. In Angola, haggle is also common due to some economic status and struggles. They also exercise this as part of their culture and due to their economic constraints. And so haggling is just a friendly way to ask lower prices. Haggle or negotiating prices is also being practiced in Ukraine. When it comes to high-priced items, that is same with Guatemala, Philippines, and Angola. And the last number, what is the dining etiquette of Guatemala, Philippines, Angola, and Ukraine? In Guatemala, table manners when dining with locals, wait for your host to begin eating before you start. Use utensils for most dishes, but note that tortillas can be used to scoop up food. It's polite to finish everything on your plate as it signals that you are enjoying the meal. In Philippines, many Filipinos eat with their hands or with a spoon and fork. However, they will often try their best to accommodate for their guests by finding suitable cutlery for their guests. It is considered rude to lean on one's arms and present at the dinner table. In Angola, dining etiquette. Dress as you would in the office. Dressing well demonstrates respect towards your host. Shake hands with each guest individually. Try not to discuss business in social situations. And in Ukraine, table manners are continental. Example, hold the fork on the left hand and the knife in the right hand while eating. Do not begin eating until the host invites you to start. Always keep your hands visible when eating. Keep your waist resting on the edge of the table. And these are the 5 unique characteristics and privileges, ethics consideration and its impact on individuals and to communities about Guatemala, Philippines, Angola, and Ukraine. Again, this is Shahani G. Flores. Thank you for watching.